Hey guys, KissRanger509, back here with you again, finally. It's been a long time since I did a video, and I have a good reason why. Well, it's either a good reason why or an excuse. I guess we'll figure that out as we go along. But I recently just got a puppy, a dog. He's 9 weeks old right now. He's a little puppy pug dog, and well, learning how to take care of something other than just myself was a little bit harder than I thought it was going to be. So, now that I'm kind of got it on the regular, it's not as hard as I thought it was, or it was at the beginning. Kind of got it down now, so I can come back to you guys and hopefully entertain you guys again. I'd show off my dog, but he's sleeping right now. Best time for me to get things done is when he's sleeping, so maybe sometime I'll do a video with him. His name's Ramsey. But other than that, the update with me, I do plan on doing a Ranger Chat episode today, which is going to be Power Rangers Turbo, if you follow along. So, without further ado, I say we get into it, because Turbo doesn't have that much to talk about, but getting back into this YouTube thing again, it might take me a little while. Alright, you guys, so, like we always start, Power Rangers Turbo, the theme song. Okay. We've been talking about the theme songs, but this one, I feel like it's right back up there again. I think this one beats out Zeo. It will never beat out the original. The original theme song is the top, cream of the crop, King Kanish. You will not beat it, in my opinion. But Turbo is up there, like that, like the guitars in it, that right at the beginning, like how it's supposed to sound like cars and stuff like that, and then the dun 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 dun. It just. That song is so good. Like, some of these theme songs I would listen to on like a daily basis, just like I was listening to a band or something like that. I'd listen to some of these songs, and Turbo is one of those ones. So, I mean, it's gonna rank up there above Zeo, right under MMPR at this point, so I definitely can't complain about the Turbo theme song. Alright guys, so going on to the Rangers, we got some returning Rangers, of course. We got Tommy, Turbo Red, Red Lightning Turbo Power. We got Adam, the Green Ranger, Desert Thunder Turbo Power. We got Tanya. Tanya. Sorry, Aisha and Tanya. We got Tanya back, Yellow Ranger, Dune Star Turbo Power. We got Kat back as the Pink Ranger. If I didn't mention, Tanya's still the Yellow Ranger. So then, like I said to Kat, Pink Ranger, she's Wind Chaser Turbo Power. And then, this whole season starts off in a movie, how we get their new powers, get all their stuff going on. So it's not in the TV show. It's only in the movie where you see this stuff happen. And so we lose Rocky in an accident he has, hurts his back. Very unfortunate, because Rocky was starting to become one of my favorite Rangers. Sad to say. And then, well, we get a little kid. His name is Justin, and well, I've never completely grown to like Justin. When I was a little kid watching the show, I was just purely jealous of him, and that's just how that was. I was like, okay, if they could pick a little kid, where was my invitation? So I always had some strong hatred towards him a little bit. I'm okay with him now as I'm grown up, because I can't be a little kid ranger anymore. But I think it's still very it was unnecessary. I get that they do kid rangers a lot in Japan, whether you guys watch Super Sentai or not. But I just felt like the little kid was so unnecessary. I mean, very cool when I was a little kid, but now it's like, we could have done without it and been just fine. So those are the original 5 Turbo Rangers that we get. Then we have the episode where they switch off. A lot of these old Rangers are getting older. They all graduated high school. They need to go to college, get jobs, whatever that is. So they needed to transfer their power. And so we get 4 new Rangers coming at us. Red Ranger, we get a gentleman under the name TJ, our first black Red Ranger. And I like TJ. TJ, I thought he was a very good Ranger. He's a very good leader. I mean, I know it's a kids' television program, but I mean, to finally get a black Red Ranger, I thought was kind of cool. I mean, he wasn't the Black Ranger, at least, so we moved away from the original stereotype. For Adam, we get the new Green Ranger. Name is Carlos. I'm just gonna say now, in Turbo, I was not a fan of Carlos. Just gonna put that out there. He gets better as we go on, but not in Turbo. Turbo, he's just Carlos, and I didn't really care for him in that one. And then moving on to Yellow Ranger, we get Ashley. She's very cool. She's kind of the cheerleader type. She's trying to be the Kimberly type, which is very cool. I mean, you always got to have the pretty girl, which has got to be obviously a cheerleader or whatever. But she's a stronger person than Kimberly was, in my opinion. And then to Pink Ranger, we get Cassie. Our first, I want to say she's some form of Asian, but I'm not sure. But she was definitely one of the first black-haired Pink Rangers we've had. So definitely trying to get the more ethnicities in the Ranger community, which I can definitely respect. And all these new Rangers are they work together really well. They blend together pretty well, in my opinion. Justin's obviously still there, so he stays the Blue Ranger, obviously. But honestly, my really only complaint is Carlos, just because being the first, I want to say he's the first Mexican Ranger, he almost kind of like just knocked it out of the park of just straight being just very, very stereotypical, in my opinion. Which isn't bad, I mean, of course, but I mean, I just feel like he could have been more just another guy. He didn't have to be so stereotypical, I guess. I mean, I'm not trying to say that's a bad thing. It's just, for kids programming, I mean, we don't want to go too far and too crazy into this stuff, I guess. All right, I'm rambling. Sorry about that, you guys. So I'm going on to the Morpher. The Turbo Morpher was one of my favorite Morphers as a kid, and it's still kind of is. So this is the wristband, the wrist strap that we get with it. And as we can see, it's got RBGYP for red, blue, green, yellow, and pink. So it's it shows up for all Rangers, even though in the show and I believe the movie does not have this. And to make this Morpher work, you got to have the turbo key. It's a little switchblade key, which is very cool. This is probably what makes this Morpher one of my favorites. It's the first one we get with a key. On that, it says Turbo Ranger. Keys didn't look like anything like this in the show. They were silver, like the handle and everything was silver. And so when they morph, they just stick it in there, turn it, and that's how they morphed. I'll show you the morph. Okay, so definitely the hard part of this morph is trying to get the key into the Morpher with still looking cool. But yeah, as far as the season goes, they had two start-off points. When it was Tommy and everyone, they started right here with the Morpher. But with TJ and all those guys, they started with the key. I don't really have a personal favorite, but I'm probably going to do the Morpher side, because if I have a choice, I'm going to be Adam. So we all know that. Adam's my boy, my Green Ranger, even though he should be black. But here's the morph for the Turbo Rangers. Shift to the turbo! Then you'd say your respective power. Desert Thunder Turbo Power! And definitely this is a more complex morph. I mean, more so than what we got so far. So I'm going to do that again real quick. Because trying to nail the key in there is really hard. If you watch the show carefully, a lot of the Rangers don't do that great of a job. Watch Forever Red, watch TJ miss horribly. But I'm not saying he's any less of a Ranger, because it's hard. Alright, so here we go. Shift it to turbo! And there you go. I'd be the Green Turbo Ranger. Alright guys, so moving on to the Zords of this season. Obviously, Turbo, Key Morphers, they're cars, which I thought was very cool. Like, I was happy to move on to something different. Like, not knowing about Super Sentai yet, I didn't know what was coming up, but I don't know if a lot of little kids did. But moving on to the Turbo Zords, I thought the very first original Zord was so cool. Obviously, I don't have a representation of it, which, sad day, of course. I did have it as a kid, of course, but hopefully there will be a Legacy edition eventually. So Tommy, his Zord was kind of like a red Firebird, which is very cool, which made up the head of the Megazord. Cat's Wind Chaser was, I'm just gonna say it was kind of like a Honda almost, I don't want to say hatchback. I don't know anything about cars, so bear with me here if I just butcher whatever these cars were. So little white car, broke into half, made the arms of the Megazord. Justin's big blue Jeep, which was such a cool car. I would totally just drive that car around as of today with the stickers on. I don't care if it's the Power Rangers, I'm cool with it. It was kind of like the chest and down to the thighs. Then Adam and Tanya, their cars were very similar. They're kind of like Jeeps or Suburbans, something like that. I don't think they're going minivans, because no minivans shifting into turbo. And those two made up to 2 legs. So that's the first Megazord we get. I really hate not having these representations. It's not nearly as fun. So as long as I can get through this in space and in Lost Galaxy starting, then I have Megazords for show representations of. Oh, it's going to be a good day that day. But we all know I don't like to time travel, so we'll get there when we get there. So the next one, they kind of get the Rescue Megazord, which is very cool. It's all rescue, rescue like representations for the cars. Like the Red Ranger's got a fire engine. It's got 2 water guns on it. The White Ranger, good lord. The Pink Ranger, she gets kind of like a meta van kind of thing. It's like an ambulance. There we go. Yellow Ranger kind of gets like a construction scoop vehicle. Blue Ranger Justin gets a cop car. And then the Green Ranger gets the green dump truck, which I thought was so cool. I always liked the dump truck, and I'll never forget when I broke the arm off. Because in these forms, each Zord can become its own individual Megazord type thing. And then combine to the original, like a colossal Megazord. Which I really love it when they do that. Like when each Zord can make their own Sentinel, Megazord guy. I'm going to go Sentinel. That sounds kind of cool. And then combine to make the Megazord. I think that's very cool. Like, how creative is that to be able to make a toy have so many different forms and something like that. After that, you guys, that's the Rescue Megazord. They get something that's kind of the carrier for those Zords, that it can turn into sort of like a stacked Megazord, but they usually just kind of use the guns off of that thing. So it's not really too much of a Megazord. And then we get the Blue Centurion, which is supposed to be our 6th Ranger, but he's not a Ranger. He's kind of like a robotic policeman, and he has his own Megazord. It's a little Robo Racer police car. I don't really have much to say about him. I feel like he was just kind of another robot character. Not crazy about the robot characters. I would always prefer a 6th Ranger, but we kind of get one in Shadow Ranger, but we know nothing about him. We don't really ever see him again. He gives us our Zords, and then it's kind of like that's all he's there for. So I really think we could have done something cool with that. And he would have been a Black Ranger. That would have been so cool. Black Turbo Ranger would have been definitely okay with me. Black Ranger. I'm a pro for Black Rangers. If we took all the Green Rangers, turned them black, I'd be okay with it. But I'd probably make a lot of other people mad. So we'll probably stick with the Green / Black Rangers. So it's okay. So I don't want to ramble on about too much of this stuff. So I got to get to the villains, you guys. In this season, Divatox is a babe. Thought she was even when I was a little kid. She is a hot villain. I will say that. Definitely noticed the difference between the movie and the TV show, because we definitely got some. She's a little busty in the movie, and then she's not so busty in the show, which is the only thing I noticed when I was a little kid. I was getting a little older, so I looked at things different. Who knows what it would have been like if I watched Mighty Morphin Power Rangers with Rita if I was a little bit older. Who knows? I don't really look at it now like that, so I don't know. Maybe that would have been the case. But I thought she was a cool villain. I really wish she would have been able to fight the Rangers herself, but she was always hiding behind her henchmen. I love it when villains fight the Rangers themselves, like say the monsters aren't doing their job, so they go on and try and fight them. But that's neither here nor there. So that's the only villain I'm going to kind of go in to talk about with this season, because I am running out of time, you guys. So I hope this makes up for I've been gone for so long. I'm going to hopefully get another Kiss review out. The next album being Dressed to Kill, which is a very monumental album. If you guys know Kiss, if you don't, watch my next review of the Kiss albums and you'll find out why. So, you guys, that's all for me. If you like what you see, like, comment, subscribe, and we can continue this. Talk to me if you guys have any ideas or anything you want me to throw out here, or if you guys want to talk about Power Rangers or Kiss. I'm a Ranger Kiss fan. KissRanger509, signing out.